Hello, loves. Welcome to the Thriving on Etsy series. So many makers start on Etsy. So, what a better place to kick off the Makers on the Rise podcast? During this series, I really want to pull back the curtain and have a real conversations about what it actually looks like to not only have a shop on Etsy, but to actually thrive on Etsy. You may have heard recently that Etsy is oversaturated and you can't find success on Etsy, especially as a new seller. The truth is, when it comes to Etsy and its current 4.3 million sellers, there actually aren't a lot of sellers that make a consistent income or make consistent sales. The majority of sellers on Etsy don't thrive. My current research shows that approximately 78% of Etsy sellers have less than 100 sales for the lifetime of their shop. That's approximately 3,354,000 sellers that have less than 100 sales. Now, 84% of sellers have approximately less than 200 sales on Etsy. 93% of sellers have approximately less than 800 sales. 96% of sellers have less than approximately 1,400 sales. And 98% of sellers have approximately less than 2,500 sales on Etsy. And it takes about approximately 3,500 sales to hit the top 1% of Etsy sellers. So as the numbers get higher, it's harder to fit into those percentages, right? Now, these percentages are subject to change, but as of September 2021, these are the approximate percentages in sales based on the 2020 stats of 4.3 million sellers. So, what does all of this mean for you as a seller on Etsy? Does it mean that you can't have success on Etsy? Hell no. Etsy is a great place to start. And I know a lot of makers who thrive on Etsy, including myself. If anything, it should give you hope. Because if you are serious about selling on Etsy and building a profitable business, then the reality of selling on Etsy with 4.3 million sellers actually just got a lot easier for you. And your competition pool just got much smaller. So, why is it that approximately 78% of sellers on Etsy haven't made more than 100 sales during the lifetime of their shop? Well, there could be a lot of reasons. Etsy makes it so easy for someone to just start selling online without any experience or business knowledge. And over time, you can't grow and expand without expanding your knowledge and actually learning how to run a profitable business. So a lot of people start on Etsy and they don't see the value in growing. Personal growth will directly affect your business growth. I promise you this. And any successful entrepreneur will attest to this. And then we have people who just don't follow through. Have you ever come up with what you believe to be like this brilliant idea and you were pumped and excited? So you started to implement it, but life got in the way and you never followed through. Makers open shops every day and then don't actually follow through, or they quickly give up because it isn't what they expected. I know for myself personally, when I come up with an idea, I want to take action right then. And typically I do, but life either gets in the way or the excitement fades. And sometimes I just don't follow through with every single idea I have, and that's okay. Did you know that the number of sellers on Etsy nearly doubled in 2020 during the pandemic? So think about how many of those sellers were potentially selling masks, or maybe they were looking for another stream of income, but now they no longer need it. So that would be a lot of sellers that open their shops and then potentially just put their shop on vacation mode. So Etsy makes it really easy for you to start selling on Etsy. And Etsy also makes it really easy for you to just put your shop on vacation mode and you're still considered within all of those statistics. So I started my shop in 2015. I put my shop on vacation mode at the beginning of 2019 and then has been on vacation mode since the beginning of 2019. So I am still considered an Etsy seller. I still fall into all of Etsy's statistics, but I am not actively selling on Etsy. And the reality is a lot of people tend to bow out when things get hard. They just don't want to work at it, or they don't believe that they should work at it. Now, Etsy search has become more advanced and it is harder to optimize your listings on Etsy and be found in search. It's much harder than it was when Etsy opened, and it's even harder than it was when I started my shop in 2015. There are more sellers and Etsy's search becomes more advanced over time. So thriving on Etsy is possible though. Some coaches will look at all of these stats that I just shared and say, see, you can't be successful on Etsy anymore. Only 22% of sellers ever make more than 100 sales. I say thriving on Etsy is not the norm, but I don't think that that has anything to do with the actual platform. It has to do with the type of sellers that Etsy is actually attracting. So some people on Etsy are just there to make a quick buck. Some just want to sell things like here and there, and they do it as a hobby to make a little extra income. Some think opening a shop is a great idea, and then they just eventually abandon it altogether, whether it becomes too hard or they potentially get too bored or just life gets in the way, right? And some start and don't want to work for it. I mean, that's the reality. Things get tough and you just stop doing it. So over the past 3 years, I have had the pleasure of working with a lot of makers. And in full transparency, not a lot of makers believe in themselves or believe that they are deserving of success, which in turn prevents them from investing in themselves and the growth of their business. I am here to tell you that you can make it happen for yourself. You can make a shop and business thrive on Etsy, and you are deserving of more. And I'm here to tell you that if you are not learning, then you are not growing. So if you want to take your hobby to the next level, or if you want to replace your full-time income, or if you want to build a profitable business and you want to start on Etsy, then stick around, because over the next 8 episodes, I have brought in different Etsy experts who, by the way, are all top sellers on Etsy, and they're going to join me to chat about how you can thrive on Etsy.